Hello, everyone. Ex-Wallkill Bethelite here. And the problems at Bethel go far beyond looking at pornography and masturbating. The infamous Pillowgate, where they were saying people were masturbating using, pillows and linen and things like that. I'm going to tell you from someone who has been there at Bethel, it is far worse than that. Bethel is status, okay? Bethel is particularly high status. Yes, you're going to have people at Bethel who are masturbating. They don't technically have wives with them. They're going to be masturbating. They're going to be looking at pornography. They're going to be doing all that. But don't misunderstand the situation and feel like Bethelites are not pulling women left and right. A lot of people have questions about what goes on at Bethel, especially dating. I will just tell you, Bethelites will go through all the sisters. A Bethelite will be accepted at Bethel, leave, go to New York, have pretty much his pick at any convention or assembly, especially the conventions and assemblies further away from Bethel, where the sisters don't see Bethelites all the time, right? He has his pick. And guess what else he has? He has the sister back home in his home state that he left to come to Bethel, and he's dating her also. That is a thing where a person is supposed to. I know this because when I was interested in Bethel, I went to all the Bethel meetings. I read everything Watchtower printed on Bethel, and a Bethelite is supposed to be single, as in if you're going to go to Bethel, you're not supposed to be actively dating somebody and then write down on your Bethel application, I'm single, because that is dishonest. There are women in all these different states who are dating a Bethelite because they were dating them before they went to Bethel, and that brother ain't coming back. That brother is not marrying you. He now has his pick. Understand something. Most Jehovah's Witnesses will believe anything they are told about Bethel from Watchtower or a Bethelite. Understand what I am telling you right now when it comes to dating at Bethel. I will repeat this. Most Jehovah's Witnesses, if not all Jehovah's Witnesses, will believe anything about Bethel coming from a Watchtower article, the governing body, or a Bethelite. Meaning, Bethelites have the same pull a governing body member has when it comes to your average Jehovah's Witness believing what he says. So what I mean is, everybody who went to Bethel did not have good intentions like I did. I went to Bethel as an honest, wanting to serve Jehovah type Bethelite. I went there for the sole purpose of wanting to serve Jehovah. I did not go because my parents pressured me. They did not pressure me at all to do anything. I went to Bethel out of my own initiative because I wanted to serve Jehovah. Then I get there and I see the polar opposite. I see all these other people at Bethel because their parents want them to be there. They don't even want to be there. They don't even half believe Watchtower is the truth. Some of them don't even half believe in God yet. Like, these are kids that ain't even figured out life, and they're there because their parents wanted them there. Then you have your Bethelites that have been at Bethel for, let's say, a year, a few years, and they have figured out the lay of the land. These are the same Bethelites that weren't there for honest-hearted reasons anyway. They are able to pull women left and right. I can tell you this from experience because as a Bethelite who was at Bethel simply to serve, I was not there to chase women. I had my pick. I had women who, from my old city, from Dayton, Ohio, who never looked my way. We never talked about anything romantic or dating or anything like that. I get accepted to Bethel. Their freaking father will hand this girl off to me. Like, you don't even have to worry about, okay, I can pull this sister if I want, but what about her father? What about her mother? You don't have to worry about that. The father and mother will bring her to you. I'm trying to explain something. That the Bethelites that do not have good intentions take advantage of sisters, and they do so easily because your Jehovah's Witnesses, they all believe anything that you say about Bethel. So any sister that you talk to and you say you work at Bethel, you're from Bethel, the first thing that's going to happen is she's going to look up at you with these big eyes like you are Chris Brown, or Little Dirk or something like that. They're going to look at you like you are a movie star. And the next question that's going to come out of her mouth is what do you do at Bethel? Do you think all these Bethelites are telling the truth about what they were doing at Bethel? What their job was? I was telling the truth because I wasn't even after these sisters. I wasn't even after these women. I had a sister's mother try to smash me while we were out in field service. Never mind the daughter, the mother was after me. Bethelites easily pull women, especially the ones who are not there for a good purpose. They figure this out, and they figure this out fairly quickly. That they got women chasing them. So all these horny Bethelites, when they decide they want to start, I'm about to grab me a chick and leave Bethel. Or some of them decide, hey, I'm going to grab me a chick and try to stay. But when they say, I'm about to grab me something. And that's virtually, come on now. That is the most common thing at Bethel is before you leave, grab one of these women. Because it's so easy. But people lie about what they do at Bethel. They will tell a woman that they are a doctor at Bethel, and I'm not exaggerating. They will tell a woman that they are a doctor at Bethel, and that's all they got to say. She's in a bag. Period. There's no other questions to be asked. You got guys at Bethel with a woman who is 20 tiers above them. Think about that. We have to think about when we see something, sometimes we have to think about it. You got all these Bethelites with women 20 tiers higher than them as far as attractiveness because they can pull whoever they want. You've got Bethelites who are in their 50s with 18-year-olds. Why don't you think that this young girl's father or mother had a problem with her being pursued by a 50-year-old man? Anywhere else that's looked at as weird to a certain extent, that's looked at as weird, or it's looked at as, yeah, he's doing it for sex. Even if it's a rich person in the quote unquote world, it's viewed as he's doing it for sex. He's with a 50-year-old with an 18-year-old for sex. You got old people at Bethel with all these young girls. Why do you think that's possible? Because parents, the sisters themselves, all guard is dropped when they find out you are a Bethelite. I've been in situations where, and I'm not going to lie and say that I was not interested in dating people while I was at Bethel. But one of the problems I would have is I would want to, I'd be interested in a sister. This really happened, by the way. I'm interested in a sister. I'd like to talk to her, get to know her. And all her friends are on me. I'm talking on me. You being a Bethelite, of course, she's going to introduce you to everybody. You're going to meet her parents. All her friends are coming over to see you. I was literally in a situation, I just told you about the situation where there is a sister, her mother, while we were in service, she wanted to go look at some things. Really what she wanted to do was get somewhere where me and her were by ourselves. And she tried to smash. I wasn't having it. Come on now. This is somebody's mother. She's older. I wasn't having it. I was a sincere Bethelite, so I probably wouldn't have done it even if it was her daughter. And she got her nerve to be mad. She didn't hardly talk to me at all after that. She's throwing it at me, and if I don't catch it, she's mad. This is what it is. You got people throwing it at you at Bethel. I did have an interest in a sister when I was at Bethel, and I kid you not, her friends pursued me harder. The more I'm trying to date her. Her friends pursued me harder. All of her friends that were females pursued me. All of them. I was at her parents' house. She was there. Parents were there. And the girl I was interested in dating, stepped out. Her friend was still there, though, sitting on the couch. Her friend looks at me, and in a very unmistakable gesture, she looks me dead in the eyes and is rubbing her hands all up and down her legs and just looking at me like she wanted it right then. I mean, it's that bad. It's that bad at Bethel. She is looking and super attractive. She is looking at me and she's rubbing her hands all up and down her legs and looking at me. Come on now. So when people ask or inquire about immorality in Bethel, come on. Do you think Chris Brown is not sleeping with whoever, how many women? Do you think celebrities are not sleeping with however many women? Women are throwing it at them. Bethel puts you in a situation where you are in the exact situation Almost. You don't have the money. You don't got the money. You don't got all that. But you have the status of a celebrity. Do you think all these people who cannot control themselves not to masturbate on their pillow are controlling themselves around actual young women? No. Of course they aren't. Of course, think about it. Of course they are not. Let me grab my water here. So, to tell you the truth, there were people, and keep in mind, I'm talking about me. I'm at Bethel to serve Jehovah. I wasn't at Bethel for women. If I was at Bethel for women, I could have smashed a sister and her mother. I could have smashed the sister that was at my morning worship table, rubbing her legs all up and down mine. The sister who I was interested in dating, I could have smashed her because she made sure that me and her was alone when her parents weren't there. She did that. She made sure me and her was alone because that's their way of making a move, is making sure you're alone. And not only her, I could have smashed 3 of her friends that were doing everything in their power to gesture sexual messages to me with her in the room. Not in the room, but in the apartment. She walked to another room. It was that bad. If it was that bad for me, that means it's that bad for pretty much any other Bethelite there. And everybody was not there for good reasons, with good intentions. So yeah, Bethel is a place where people knowingly pull women with their status. Now, let me just touch on another situation that would happen often at Bethel, and that is brothers hiding in their own department. Think about that. Why are brothers at Bethel in their departments hiding? Because the women, the sister, the fine sister, any nationality you want, period, any nationality you want, any race, you could be any race, you can be black, and you pull you Japanese, Chinese. If you're at Bethel, it's the same as a black millionaire. There's no difference other than you don't have the money. But here's the one thing. These women will ask what you do at Bethel. Meaning the people at the higher tiers of Bethel, the people who have more important jobs, are able to pull the women easier. If you have an important job at Bethel, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's over. Who do you want? It's over. So you have people who have been at Bethel just a couple years. They don't really have an important job yet, but they are Bethelite, but they don't have an important job. And remember what I told you, Jehovah's Witnesses believe anything the governing body says, anything they see in a watchtower, and they believe anything a Bethelite says. And if that Bethelite tells you that they work in an office, that they are an overseer, that they make calls to other Bethels around the world, and that they personally escort the governing body, and so on and so forth, the woman's going to believe it. And yeah, they're going to pull her, whoever they want. But the problem is, sometimes these women come to Bethel to see their man in action. Oh, I used to love it. Oh, I used to love it. Oh, I remember walking past the door, and there's a couple of sisters outside the door. And I'm like, hey, there's some sisters outside the door, probably there to see somebody. Man, when these two brothers looked out that window and they saw who was out there, they literally looked at each other like their Bethel career was over. They looked like they saw a ghost. They told me not to open the door. The overseer wasn't there, otherwise he would have opened the door and probably offered him a tour. But they were in the department hiding from these women. The women stood there and eventually left. But obviously they lied to the women. And if they would have came in and saw them, not in full suits, not in an office, not surrounded by governing body members planning their flights around the world. If they would have saw that, man, that would have been bad. That'd have been bad. A Bethelite who's, supposed to be your boyfriend is lying to you about what they do at Bethel, but it happens all the time because that's all they have to do is lie. Imagine if men today, all they had to do was tell a woman they had $500 million and she'd believe it. How many people do you think would be honest compared to how many people do you think would just tell her, yeah, I've got $5 million. You want to go out? She'd say, sure. She'd say, yeah. I mean, do you know how many people are in their assignments right now at Bethel worried that all these women that they done told all this stuff to, all these women they're pulling left and right, that they might show up, that they might come to visit Bethel and see that this person does not work where they're telling them that they're going to work? Then they're going to go back and tell their mother, tell their father. It would be everywhere. It would be a mess. But that is one of the issues at Bethel, is dating. And guys dating more than one woman. Guys having this woman thinking that he's going to marry her while he... okay, but this one is better. Let me upgrade to this one and buy, and I'll go with this one. Do they do that? Yes. Does it work? Yeah. Some people have gotten in trouble for doing stuff like that. If it becomes known that they're doing that, then yeah, a Bethelite could get in trouble for doing something like that. They could end up having to leave Bethel for doing something like that. But does it happen, and does pretty much everybody at Bethel know it happens? Yeah. Now, I'll be honest. When I was at Bethel, I did not catch on until after I left that all these women, their interest was Bethel and not me. When I was at Bethel, I was naive. I was just trying to serve Jehovah. There's all these sisters interested. I didn't know that it was just Bethel and not me. But there are a lot of guys that do know, and they use it to their advantage. And with these women, it's up to however far they let it go. There's women that will have sex with you, yes. Come on now. There's married women at Bethel that'll have sex with you. Do you think all this, and you got a Bethelite that could pursue any single woman in the freaking organization, and you think ain't none of them gonna have sex with them? Yes, they will have sex with you. Yes, there are plenty of women that will have sex with you. But at the same time, especially for that first year at Bethel, before these Bethelites figure all this out, yeah, they're going to be looking at porn. They're going to be masturbating. But once they figure all this stuff out, They're going to be pulling women left and right and telling them whatever in the world that they want to hear. And then some of them that actually do have good jobs at Bethel, they don't have to lie. They can have the woman come on over to Bethel. That does happen. You got women at Bethel because you can let them in anytime you want. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. But there's just so many people that don't know what goes on at Bethel. And people think it's this place where you just got all these innocent people. And the worst thing that happens is somebody watches pornography. Come on, it's way worse. It's way worse. It's people sleeping with other people's wives. I know somebody that got busted. And the reason why he had to leave Bethel was messing with somebody else's wife. They're sleeping with other people's wives. They're sleeping with half the freaking organization. They sleep with whoever in the world they want. Or whoever will let them. Let's put it that way. Whoever will let it go that far. But a lot of the sisters will. A lot of the sisters will. They will arrange you to be alone with them when you're not supposed to be. They will be the ones to arrange it. I had one sister, and she was Oriental. She brought up the subject of sex. You would think that the Oriental women were more traditional, more shy, more. No, she brought up the subject of. Yeah. Sex in the city does not have nothing on sex in Bethel. Stop it. Stop it. If you could make a reality show off of Bethel, you would make $1 billion. But Watchtower would never do that because it will expose that Jehovah's Witnesses are not any different or better than anybody else. When these guys go on vacation and they go to Miami and everywhere else, they got their pick of all the women in Miami and everywhere else. Point blank and period. And do they exercise their options? A lot of them, yes. No, they're not just celibate. They exercise their options, yes. Comment down below, 937-789-4029. Bethelites probably have more sex than anybody else in the whole organization. To be honest. Bethelites probably have more sex than anybody else in the organization because it is thrown at them. The only problem is finding a place to do it. Because you can't just bring them to your room and smash them and your roommate sitting right there. Unless your roommate is cool with it too. The only thing is a place. That's it. A place to do. That's it. But other than that, yeah, they travel around. They talk to any woman they want. And they have more sex than anybody else. X-Wall Kill Bethelite signing out.